والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة لجميع الكائنات وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبع هداه بهدى وثبات. أصحاب السعادة والفضيلة، إخوتي الكرام، أخواتي الكريمات، أحييكم جميعا بتحية طيبة مباركة، وهي تحية الإسلام، وتحية الإسلام السلام، فالسلام الله عليكم ورحمته وبركاته. في البداية لا يسعني إلا أن أقدم الشكر الجزيل لهذه المؤسسة المباركة السام.
So to this, I am providing all the good activities of ASSAM for the Islamic Union, and in order to establish Islamic Union for these purposes, in terms of Sharia and in terms of in all aspects of our life, I would like to thank them for having these activities. To Adnan Tanrıverdi, I'd like to thank him, and I'd like to thank all the people who contributed to the organization of this Congress. And I would like to thank all the participants who are amongst us today, and distinguished brothers. We are aware that Islam attaches importance to security. Allah uses the word iman as security or being within security. It is from the same words, it's derived from the same words. When you look at all the terms of Islam, and of course, when you look at the different sentences of Islam, they're all around the security. And security has two wings in Islam, in Quran, Holy Quran. It is like two weights. One is the spiritual, the other is the material. When we say the spiritual terms, there is internal security and safety to have belief in Allah, and the moral aspect of it. So it affects our internal spirit, and it is effective in our spirit. And it's about being good within the spiritual terms. It requires iman to have this, to have to be clean, purified from all the bad deeds. That requires iman. At the same time, it's about the nafs of people and the self of people to have internal security within that spirit. When we look at the internal security, it's about Islam. At the point of realization of all these targets Islam, so in the humankind should be within security and safety, and they could, when we look at the material part of it, there is economic, it is political, and it is social involvement, and the military involvement of security. It covers all the units of security, intelligence, state intelligence, and the others. When we look at all these different aspects, all of them, it is about security under material security term. We have to work on this. Allah, these two parts for material and spiritual security sites and it signifies in Quran, Holy Quran. For when Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim has an argument with his followers. It is about how these are the people who have Iman, and these are the people who have only Iman, who are living in security and who have Hidayat. So when we look at this verses of Quran, if you do not have Iman, you cannot expect security from that person. There could be hostility. There could be the loss of senses. So when we look at this, when we look at the world, in the Western world, we see that very well, very clearly. So our image is only possible if we have and we ensure the internal security and security in our internal life. So we can only have the external security if we have the internal security. When we look at the material security, there's a two part of it. One part of it is about the internal peace, internal order and security of the state. And as you know, following the fall of Ottoman Empire, we were disrupted and we started to live in different places. And of course, we have to solve this with hikmat. And of course, we should not resort to violence, to power exertion, we have to have it in this way. And in Quran, regarding the security, so against the cruelty or oppression, we can have the protection in the Holy Quran that signify the safety and security and protection. There is a fear, and the chaos and the disruption is very dangerous, and these are all cited in the Holy Quran. Of course, we have to be away from all the chaos, the environment of insecurity. We have to be away from all this. So if you are in such a state, the enemies can have the control very easily over you. So when we look at today's situation, we can say that there is a chaos. There's a chaos environment, and that brings opportunities to certain people. And there is the hostility opportunities given to these people. And of course, for us to be taken as a slave, so there's an opportunity for that for certain power struggles. And when we look at Iraq and Syria, we can say that in these very holy territories in Yemen, in Lebanon, we see that. And of course, as you know, there is the case of Palestine, which is given priority. And we can say that after the occupation of Iraq, there is a chaos, there is instability, and as a result of this, the United States of America turned into a territory which there is the reign of chaos. And when we look at Iraq today, we can say that as a result of this, people, of course, for oil, for the underground resources, can be taken a time from the certain people, and this is kind of an attitude that they have. And some countries have certain rules in this chaos, and of course they assume certain rules in this chaos. And for Islam and for Muslims, this is a dangerous situation. How can we solve this problem? we have to strengthen our brotherhood, we have to recognize our brothers, and we have to ensure security. And we have to get rid of the insecurity, and we have to establish security in Syria, in Yemen, and in Iraq. Only if we have all these, if we have security, we can talk about a union, we can talk about Iman. And when we look at Iman, we can say that it is related to our internal security, and also from inside and from outside, it covers all these structures. Of course, as we are, as Muslims, as I pointed out, in the large Arabic countries, the processes that we are going through gives certain people certain opportunities. In Myanmar, in India, we are talking about 250 million Muslims whose rights are breached, and many mosques are destructed. And in Uyghur, and we see that there is an oppression and persecution in China. The reason, one of the reasons of this is that there is a weakness that we are going through, and there is internal security. And as a result of this, as a result of the absence of internal security, we cannot make any intervention. So everybody is dealing with their own problems. And while I'm citing all of these problems, it's not about just reciting these problems, but we have to come up with alternatives. And then as Adnan Bey pointed out, as he pointed out, he is conducting very good activities, and of course about the security, and of course for the establishment of security, he signifies that security is a very important phenomenon. This is how we can have growth and development. Only if we have the internal security. How can we have the revival of the economy? How can we have a sound politics? This is only related to the establishment of security. In the Holy Quran, Allah forces some deterrent punishment for the people who are creating oppression and also persecution. And as a result of the verses, there is in the Holy Quran, Allah tells what people will be punished. We understand it from these verses in terms of I am a person who is an economist as well, or who's dealing with who's interested in economics. So I know that this is security is in parallel with the economy. You know that Europe has one parliament, and under one umbrella they unified their money as well, and they turned into huge power. So as in Islamic cooperation organization, there are 57 countries, and the commercial relations is limited to 13%, unfortunately. So with China, with Europe, we have better and higher economic relations. So the commercial relations among our countries should be 50%, should be increased up to 50 or 40%. And this is a very important subject. If you want to ensure security, one of the part of it is the social security, to establish social security as well. And at this very stage, the poor people should be taken into account. We need to work for the eradication of poverty. When we look at the Muslim countries, there is the illiteracy, there is inflation, and there are many economic problems. So we should work on for the solution of these problems. If our ummah and if our youth is trained and educated in the right manner, and if they are oriented for reading and for the education, this could lead to the formation of a key. Of course, there are important tendencies, and of course, there are sine qua non of Islamic sciences. Of course, this should be given importance, and the youth should read all of these scientific branches, and they should be competent in this regard. So, of course, Allah in our verses to pray for him. We should worship him. We should not worship others. We should only worship Allah. As you know that in commercial terms, we have to support each other. We have to be in cooperation with our brothers. We have to trust our brotherhood. But there is one thing. Of course, this is one ummah, and we can say that Allah is our Allah. And in terms of spiritually, and in material terms, we have to work in this regard, and we have to say that this ummah is a one, and Allah is only one, and we have to understand this. We have to be aware of this in our education, in all of the different aspects, in be it economic, be it social. We have to work hand in hand. Another subject is that Quraysh said the following: if we have the right way, the salvation, we could have this. People say that if we follow the right Islam, maybe there will be problems. People can work on this, but in Quraysh, people were in this fear. Allah said that we give him the one part, and people aren't aware of this. I'm finishing my presentation. So when we look at the countries, Islamic countries, we see that there are people who are committing crimes. We don't want to be radicals. We don't want the extremists, the radical people. Islam is choosing the middle way, and of course, the Islam should be Islamic countries should establish security among themselves, and they have to exert their efforts in this regard. And of course, the Turkish state has an important role in terms of security, in terms of establishing a secure environment. And Turkey has been exerting their efforts in this regard. And from Syria, from Iraq, and from different parts of Turkey, there are migrants coming to Turkey, and there are people without the state. And may Allah be pleased with you. And I would like to pay my respects and thank you very much.